Hello everybody.
Hello everyone.
You're just tuned into TGL and we are sitting on the roof terrace of Soku.
Soku in Amsterdam.
In Amsterdam with the sun. It's super lovely.
It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Today I will talk with, of course, Camille. You all know him.
Hi.
We're gonna talk about mentoring and coaching. Do you call yourself a mentor or a coach?
Ooh, that's an interesting one because I think it depends on who you ask. Some of my clients would call me their coach.
Yeah.
Some of my clients would call me their mentor because there's definitely a clear difference between a mentor and a coach. So I would say that I do coach some clients.
Yeah.
And I also have those are individual clients, personal clients, and I also have business clients I coach.
Yeah.
However, I also do mentoring. So I do career mentoring. For individuals who are trying to perhaps move on in their lives and careers, etc. And I coach within leadership and performance management and self-confidence, etc.
You do a lot.
I do a lot. I do a lot.
I found this amazing quote that I want to share that I have to read for my paper.
All right, here we go. Okay, what's the quote?
Zig Ziglar, do you know him?
Ziglar, yep.
Yes?
Yes.
A lot of people have gone further than they thought they would because someone else thought they could.
Yes.
What does this quote mean to you?
I think when you think about a lot of people gone further than they thought they could because someone else would. That a lot of that has to do with mentoring and coaching, because quite often people tend to have limits, or they think that they have a limit, but actually they're limitless, and they think that they can perhaps only achieve a certain level. And when you introduce someone like a coach or a mentor, you learn other ways of perhaps doing things different than perhaps how you've always done it. So then you end up sort of that's what I'm looking for. You kind of overachieve. You can end up achieving things that perhaps you thought you never would, and that's what it conjures up with me.
Nice.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So, how do I know what type of person I would be? If I'm in a business, would I need a coach or a mentor?
Oh.
If I in a relationship that's not working, do I have to go to a coach or a mentor? Can you can you explain a little bit more about the difference?
Yes. Okay. So there's a clear difference between coaching and mentoring, and a lot of people tend to think that it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Although there are slight similarities, they're two complete different things. So coaching is normally a bit more short-termed. So you have it could involve specific tasks. If we're talking from a business perspective, you may have a coach that comes in to coach your team on certain performance issues or through change management, or maybe perhaps coaching your team of managers through engagement pieces and whatnot. So they come with tasks that people need to work towards. There's the coach and the coachee. And then, of course, with mentoring is a bit different. It's quite different, actually. Mentoring normally is a bit more long-term. So mentoring can go on for many years as transitional changes happen in someone's career path or life path, what it may be.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the difference between coaching and mentoring. Mentoring, it's not that you want to perhaps be like that person, but you're taking lessons and learnings from the person who's the mentor, and that's how you move forward. So there's definitely a difference between coaching and mentoring.
What type of people reach out to you?
Reach out to me?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Is there a certain type?
There's not a certain type. There's not a certain type, and I like that because that's what helps. That's what inspires me to help and coach and mentor my clients. So I have a range of clients. I have clients, if we're talking from a business point of view, I have companies perhaps that are going through transformational change. So they're growing from being very small to then becoming quite medium-sized or larger size, and they are now going through the challenges perhaps of what used to be informal discussions now have to be more formal. More sort of rules and regulations and policies and procedures have to be implemented. So that's a huge change for them. From the individual side, I coach and mentor a range of people. People who are perhaps going through changes in their life. Self-confidence is a huge one. If perhaps you've been knocked out of the workplace, for example, say through redundancies or whatever it may be. You know, people, I have a client who has taken maternity leave, and that turned into another set of maternity leave. So she's been off work for 5 years now, and now she's trying to come back in the workplace, and life has changed. So
after 5 years,
yeah, life's changed. So there's a huge array of different clients, people that I coach and mentor.
Okay.
To me, people reach out to me at different stages. So it really depends on when they reach that point where they know they need help.
Yes.
Sometimes we try to go at it alone, and it's not until we realize that, you know something, I need help. So some people reach out to me at the early stage, when they quickly recognize that they need some coaching in something.
Yeah.
Others tend to reach to me when it's really a big of a
already
mess.
messed up.
But that's okay, because we work through it together, and so it really depends on when someone is ready, because you have to be ready to take on a coach, you know, because as a coach, I'm not easy. You know, my clients who are probably watching will know I'm not easy. I will expect you to give to me as I give to you, because it's important that we work together as a team. We have to collaborate together to make sure that this is successful, or else we're just going to waste time. And I do not waste time.
Yeah. But for some people, it's not the first thing you think of, like reaching out to a mentor. You try to do it yourself first.
Yes.
I, for example, when I was working for a corporate,
yes,
my mentor suggested me to get a coach.
Yes.
Because I was always used to doing everything myself.
Yes.
So how can you educate others?
Yeah.
When to reach out? When should you reach out?
You should reach out when you know you need help.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. People will often ask for help with things very easily, but for the things that perhaps really matter, like their career path, their life journey, whatever it may be, they struggle to ask. What holds us back from asking for help is people tend to think that it's a sign of failure, or it's a sign of weakness. In particular, if you are in a corporate environment where it's competitive. Because let's face it, the world's changed now. You know, we no longer are seeing companies organize structures where, you know, you are rewarded based upon perhaps just your hard work or your tenure in the company.
Yeah.
We are now competing with colleagues, we're collaborating, we're calibrating, all these things. So people tend to feel a lot more pressure in workforces. So therefore, they're reluctant to ask for help because they think it is a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
So what my message to you would be, ask for the help. And I think I said this before one time when we first spoke. People who are asked, ask. And what that means is, when we think about people who you think are very intelligent or sort of have it together, these people become like this because they're not afraid to ask. They've asked for help along the way. They've asked for information. You have to enlist the support of other people to get where you're going. So my message to you and my answer to you would be, just get over it and ask. Ask for the help, because the help is out there. Coaches are out there, mentors are out there.
You know, some people also think why should all these questions? Because actually, a lot of smart people I talk to, they ask.
Okay, I can I'll share something. Do you remember a few years ago? I mean, for those who are sport fans, I mean, obviously I'm a former athlete, so I'm a huge sport fan.
Yeah.
I would use the example of about 6 years ago, Serena Williams. If you guys remember, she lost the first round of the French Open. It was the first time that had happened, and she was devastated. The world was in shock that someone of her caliber could lose in the first round.
Yeah.
And what did she do? She reached out finally, and she asked for help from Patrick Mouratoglou. And she rung him, and she said, I need your help. And he said, then you come here. And from that moment on, we've seen her go on to just win slam after slam, because she reached that point where she thought, I can't do it alone. It's not working. I need to ask for the right help. So, hey, ask for help. That's
Solution,
my answer.
Ask for help.
Ask for help.
Hey, so what are the biggest hurdles as a coach?
Which, wow, okay. So you're asking me about the sport I did, hurdles. Funny that. Okay, so the biggest hurdle as a coach, I think when I first started coaching, the biggest I say challenge that I had was when you often can see the answer for people and they can't see it. Having the willpower to not reach in and do it for someone. That was a challenge when I first became a coach, because quite often you stop and think, the answer is right there. It's obvious. Come on, and it's very easy. Yeah, it's very easy. Here it is. But then you run the risk of going into that parent-child sort of relationship, and that's not what you want to do.
No.
So that was a challenge years ago when I was doing it. Now that's not so much a challenge anymore, because anytime I see a challenge, I see challenges as an opportunity. It is an opportunity to learn something. It's an opportunity to do something better.
I'm meeting a lot of people that are in a corporate job. And they want to leave. So what they're doing now is they're doing all these courses to actually make it happen.
Right.
But quite often they come back like, yes, you know what? Maybe I want to have my own company, but I'm not sure if I can succeed. I want to do like freelancing, but I'm afraid to get, like, how can I get the clients? What can you say to these people as a coach?
As a coach, I would say the first thing you need to do is to stop. Stop thinking so much. You need to go back to basics. You need to literally go to a drawing board, and you have to make up your map. So you need to think about your short, medium, and long-term plans, because when you start thinking about everything like you've just said, from I want to leave, to I want to run my own business, to I want to have this, but I don't want this, it becomes too much. And then what you end up doing is you end up exhausting yourself. So sit down first with yourself and perhaps, a flip chart and a marker like what I did, and map out, where are you now? Where do you want to be? When you get there, what's that going to look like? What's that going to feel like? And then along the journey, how long do you anticipate this journey to be? What is your short, medium, and long-term plans? And then start thinking about bubbling techniques as to, this particular area here. These are my strengths. These are my weaknesses. This is the area. This is what I can take with me. And you slowly start building it. You cannot expect to go from 0 to 60 overnight.
No.
And a lot of people do that. They don't see perhaps the fruit. It's important to plant the seeds, fertilize, allow this to grow. It takes time. It takes time and patience.
Don't rush into it. Hey, Camille.
Yep.
So let's go to the questions.
Okay.
We got a few.
Okay.
Oh, but before we go back, because I had like questions from all over the world.
Wow.
From Montreal to Suriname.
Oh my goodness.
And that's why I love the internet.
Yeah, the internet is great for that.
I know.
It's global. It's global,
so, yeah. Baby.
Yes.
So I'm just gonna get up my. Yes. So first,
Montreal.
Yes, the mama from Montreal.
Okay,
people.
my next door from Toronto. Hey.
So she says, "Hey, I'm not happy with my current job.
Okay.
I have a brilliant idea for a business.
Okay.
But something is stopping me from really focusing to bring it out to the world and start entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Since I have a family to take care of, don't know what to do. Where should I start?"
Okay. So the first thing is hello. All right. So the second thing I would say is you mentioned earlier on that something is holding you back and you don't know what it is. I will probably challenge you here, and I say I think you know exactly what it is that's holding you back, and it's more than likely could be just saying a fear of failure. Or more importantly, a fear of success. When we are in a circumstance, a situation, we tend to become very comfortable with that, and perhaps the thought of what something could be can be very paralyzing. So I suspect you know exactly what it is that's holding you back. There's always going to be something that will be relevant. So whether it is I have a family, like you mentioned, a young family, you don't want to, you're struggling to put the idea out there, there's always going to be something. So at some point you're going to have to sit down with yourself and think, you know what, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make the commitment and do it. I would suggest perhaps because you haven't mentioned here what exactly the idea is. However, maybe perhaps going and having a conversation with someone who's actually doing this particular job, doing this particular career, someone who has branched out and started their own business in the exact same field in which you're thinking of doing it.
Okay.
Contact that person, arrange a cup of coffee over a meeting, and just have a conversation about, you know, have a list of questions. You know, when did you start? How did you start? What were your challenges? You know, what did you have to sort of compromise and sacrifice to start where you did? Because every entrepreneur has had to compromise and sacrifice.
Absolutely.
But what I would say is don't allow fear to stand in your way. You know, get on with doing it, because I suspect in order for you to reach out today and ask me this question, you probably have asked yourself this question already, and it's probably been quite some time now. So baby steps, but start making a step. That's my answer.
Oh, that's a perfect answer. Tamara, I hope you're really happy with this answer.
Nice to meet you, Tamara.
If you need help, like, just share like what you do or what do you want to do, and maybe we can connect you. We can help you connect. So just send me a message again, and I hope you see this. Next one is Timothy from London.
From London. Hey, Tim. You're right, Tim.
Actually, you used to live.
I lived, 13 years, 12 and a half years, 13 years in London. I lived, before I moved to Amsterdam. So I know London very well.
Hey, so Timothy has resigned from his job after 7 years.
Wow, okay.
Because he just couldn't take it anymore.
Right.
The unfortunate thing is that he has a 6 weeks notice period.
6 week notice period. Okay.
He needs to work for 6 long, dreading weeks. I'm so sorry for you, Timothy. How can he survive these weeks? Do you have tips?
All right. Yes, I do. Okay, and it's actually quite simple. So anyone who resigns from a job normally at some point within that resignation period has switched off. You probably have switched off before you put in your resignation notice. My advice to you is this: conduct yourself appropriately up until your very last day. Work your notice period. If you've given 7 years to a company, then 6 weeks is nothing. It may seem like it's a long time. 7 years was a long time. 6 weeks is not a long time. I would say give everything for the next 6 weeks. Always be remembered in a positive light. You never want to walk away from a business, regardless of how long you've worked there. You never want to walk away from a business with a reputation that's tattered. Yeah, you always want to give. I would suggest to get through the next 6 weeks, rather than thinking it's a long 6 weeks, you can actually make it quite quick. Start diarizing handovers now. Start planning from the last day backwards. Those coffee afternoons where you're saying goodbye to some of your colleagues, you know, handover meetings, any projects that you're starting to wind down. Start clearing out your desk. Start preparing your wardrobe at home. Are you going into a different job now that perhaps requires a different wardrobe? Start really shedding things, emails that no longer are required. Putting things in place so that when you walk away, whoever is coming over to take over your job has a nice, clear, clean handover. That in itself will take 6 weeks, because if you've done something for 7 years, there's no way that 6 weeks will just be, you know, unimaginable. That will go quite quickly. But stick with the 6 week notice period. Make it a very good 6 weeks, and leave there in a very good note. That's my advice.
Okay, so now we have a question from Lillian.
Yeah.
From Suriname.
Suriname. Suriname. Hello.
Yes. What should I look for in a mentor?
What should you look for in a mentor? Okay, in a mentor, I think you need to look for someone who is credible, first of all, someone who is established, someone who can bring to you and offer you something that you're going to be able to take away and learn from and put into practice. It needs to be someone who is like-minded.
Okay.
Because that person needs to be able to offer you something that you can take and learn and grow and implement to help you get to where you're going to. So it's almost like an interview process, because you need to make sure and suss out the right person who could be a really good mentor. And depending on the field that you're in, if it's to do with work, it doesn't necessarily have to do with work. Some people don't have a mentor for work. Some people have a mentor for their life. You know, if it's a life mentor. So once again, think of someone who you respect and admire. Someone with dignity and humility is very, very important.
Perfect. And last question.
Okay.
And then we're out.
Last but not
I feel
least,
so sorry because I really like talking with you.
I like talking to you too.
Dasha from Lithuania.
Dasha from Lithuania. Oh my goodness. Okay, I've got a lot of Lithuanian friends
Really?
in London who I'm sure might be watching this. There.
Do you believe in online coaching?
Do I believe in online coaching? I believe in online coaching as much as I believe in online dating. So I think the answer is yes, because the world has changed. The world has changed. I think if you ask someone this question 20 years ago, they may say, no, what's that? It has to be face to face. It needs to be put no. We are in a world right now where many things are online, many things are instant. People are running out of time. People are very conscious of the hours that they put in a day. So I fully support online coaching. I think it's whether it's online or whether it's face to face.
Yeah.
What matters is that it is relevant, and it's positive, and it's fruitful, and it's successful. So yes, I support online coaching.
Well, that was the end, Camille.
Oh.
It was really nice.
It was nice to speak with you too. And it was nice to see you today.
Yeah, thank you for watching.
You're very welcome.
And yeah, see you next time.
See you next time.